Hey, Robert Rotary Swing Tour Instructor Craig Morrow here. 51 years young, golfing for 25 years, club head speed of 103, average ball speed 150, handicaps currently at 1.6. That's some great playing, bud. Play 1 to 2 rounds every weekend, practice at home for 30 minutes to an hour in the backyard, working on wedge and pitch shots, and no personal instruction in the past. Well, thank you for the opportunity to help you out. First time paying for coaching, I'll try not to scare you. I struggle to find the center of the face, toe biased, seeking a playable draw shape enough distance to play from 6,500-yard tee box. My Garmin shows a swing path bend out 2 to 3 degrees, but a consistently closed club face. Hit a lot of hole draws, and when I try to get a neutral face, they go weak and a little scattered on the face. All right, no problem for the review. Much thanks for the thanks. With you being kind of a homegrown swing. I don't want to throw too much at you at first because sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming when you're not used to doing a lot of instruction. Um, I don't want to overwhelm you with a lot of fancy gizmos and bells and whistles about the swing of what I'm seeing. But I do want you to have a little bit of understanding of why I'm telling you to do certain components. Um, so I want to give you a little bit of an overview and hit the highlights of what needs to change. That way we can kind of pick and choose, where we need to start, but also not so much that it overwhelms you and you kind of lose the feel of your homegrown swinger. You just lose the feel in general. I don't want to throw too much at you at one time because that's not the kind of player that you are. I have players that are very analytical that have taken millions and millions of lessons. It's a different story with them. So I want to talk to you or give you a brief overview just so you can understand why I'm thinking these things. If we look at the right hand side of the screen, when we look at your tush line right here and we look at your arms are a little bit outstretched, but I want you to notice how you spin the backswing coming off of the tush line, spine angle getting more vertical. Okay. The arms have a tendency to overswing. The right arm gets behind you. And then by the time you get to impact right here, I want you to notice that you don't have any spine angle anymore. Notice how far your butt's moved off this line right here. What that's typically going to do is cause you to come up out of posture. It's going to typically cause you to go too much from the inside. So there's your swing path. And you're going to typically early release it. There's your closed club face. Okay. And when we look at it on the left-hand side of the screen, stance is a little bit too wide for me, but we can deal with it. When you load and rotate off the ball, we get a little bit too much motion off the ball. You can see the head. Arms overswing, so the right arm gets behind you too much. And you'll see as you start to shift and come down, these you start throwing your lag angle. There's your early release. Okay, that's why the face is shutting down soon, and that's why you don't have any power, because leverage is going to be our ultimate force multiplier. If you look at Tiger right here, look at the difference in his angle when his hands are in front of his right thigh versus yours. See how you already lost all that angle by that point? Let's even look at the impact positioning. Look at where his lead hand is at impact. See how he's in front of his left thigh? You're in front of your right thigh at the same positioning. Okay, so your arms are lagging behind your body. Now that's kind of twofold. One, it's a little bit of the lateral. Two, it's because the arms overswing, so they have such a great distance to carry or to get back. So when we look at the swing and we look at what's going on, when I diagnose anybody, I like to fix things from the inside out. I like to work on their body first and then work on their arms. Okay. Actually, I'm going to throw this one over there because I already have those lines there. I like to work it from the inside out because if I can get the legs going even without fixing your arms, you're going to be much better off. If we look at Rory right here, and let's get rid of these. And I'm going to do two things. I'm going to give spine angle and spine angle right here. So watch what happens. As you go back, you're going to see how your right butt cheek comes off that line. And by the time you get down into impact, look at how much spacing you have here and how your posture has changed to here. Let's watch Rory right here. His right butt cheek moves back, both butt cheeks on that line. Now the left butt cheek is still staying back. And let's look at his spine angle. You can see the retention right there. That's typically what you're going to see when somebody pushes off their right foot too much. See how his foot's less? That's typically what you're going to see in somebody that swings too far into out or gets into out, and then they start shutting down the club face too soon because they're trying to get that club face square because it causes them to lose angle. Okay. Staying in posture and staying in the shot with your legs is going to immensely help this right here, the contact on the face. If your posture isn't changing, you have less variability in what's going to happen in your swing plane. You have less variability of what's going to happen down at impact. Okay. That's the first thing that I think you need to tackle. The second thing that you would need to tackle would be the right arm. It would be that as you load and rotate, that maintaining more width and getting rid of the overswing, okay, so that we don't have this kind of late lateral motion at the top and we don't have to work so hard coming down, would be the second. That we curtail the overswing and we work on maintaining more lag into the strike because that will give you the potential for more power. The problem is if I fix your arms right now and I fix a little bit of your lags, but your lag and you're doing the same thing with your legs, it's not going to work because you're going to continue to struggle because the early extension is going to change your swing plane. It's going to change your spine angle. And you're going to be stuck. If I get you more stable, then when we fix the arms, your body isn't going to throw it off kilter. Does that make sense? If I have a more stable base than somebody driving the car down here, then when we fix the arms, you're not getting in the way. But if you keep doing this with your legs, the arms are going to always be off. The inside moves out. If the inside is incorrect, you're going to constantly have to make compensations with the arms and hands. Okay. And I think that's where you should start first. Okay. I think one, we should minimize a little bit of the lateral off the ball so you don't have to work so far to get back. And number two, I think we have to tackle the touch line. Okay. So the stance width, I still think could be a little bit more buttoned up, personally speaking. So if we look at this one's going to help you with an iron. There's just another one. That's going to help you with an iron, but with a driver, you're allowed 2 inches outside of neutral. Okay. I want you to see if you have access to this video. Type in proper in the search box. You may not, depending on your, you see proper tee height right here? I know it talks about tee, but it'll help you out with the stance width. Okay. What I would do is I would bring in the right leg and I'd bring in the left leg, both by 1/2 inch to an inch. Okay. So I'd bring that one in about 1/2 inch. Inch maybe too much, but I'd bring them both in a little bit because you're just having to move too far. Then I'd minimize how much you're having to move off the ball because you have to move so much to get into this side. So I'd minimize how much your head and how much you kind of sway off the ball in the backswing. I love the fact that you load, you just move a lot. So if you moved or used a little bit of this video right here to kind of get yourself buttoned up and use a little bit of weight shift part 2 to button yourself up, it's going to make it easier to rebound in the downswing. But then what you have to start doing is you have to start maintaining touch line. I really just want you focused on how much laterally you move off and then get your legs fixed. Because if you start staying in posture and you start pushing less off the right side, it's going to provide so much more space that then we can go in, button up the length of the swing, and then just maintain more angle into it. We don't have to clean up a ton of release or anything. The main thing that we just have to do is get you to stay in the shot, tighten up the length, give you some angle coming down. That's going to help the contact in the face. It's going to help the speed. It's going to help the overall repeatability. When you have a lot of excess motion and especially a lot of variability in the spine, it's just going to be hard to make consistent contact. So let's stabilize the swing first, and then we work on a little bit of refining to really start kind of ramping up the club head speed and make it a little bit more detailed to work for you, for your speed and your shot shape that you want.